So I was listening to Human Nature, multiple times. Anybody knows me, Human Nature that's my song. That's the best damn song I've ever heard in my life. Human Nature by Michael Jackson.
Roll me, Mac.
What song lyrics made you feel them? Well, number one, I'll go with my favorite from New Edition, Can You Stand the Rain, right? As a kid, it's because it's popular, sounds good, and all that stuff. But when you go through life and you try to figure out, who's going to be there for you when chips are down, when you're, down to your last dollar, when you're at your lowest in depression, just like a lot of worse conditions that you're perceiving your life to be. Let's be clear about that. Life is about how we look at it, not what it actually is. But the perception of life is that I'm at my worst moment, and it's like, well, who's going to be there for me? So I know when I was going through said situations multiple times, those songs, they really, I really felt that. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, can you stand the rain? Storms will come. Sunny days, everybody loves them. Happy times and nothing going, not in your favor. But when life hits and there's pressure, right? Pressure bursts pipes. Pressure just, lets you know who you are. And when you go through a few things in life and challenging times in life, you find out who was really using you and who was really there for you, right? And of course, develop trust issues and all that. But that song, for sure, I definitely lived in the life. This is high school of half crazy when somebody that was I would say even in adult life too, but music song half crazy, where it's like when he says, you used to laugh and now you get mad, I just want my friend back. Like, I felt that. I really did feel that record, because at one point in time, you were very, very close with this particular individual. You laughed about things, you know what I'm saying, just joked about whatever. You had such good camaraderie amongst each other, and then you both decided to cross into the hairs of intimacy on a sexual level. And then, after that, now you take things personal. Now your insecurities are being revealed, and you know, your egos, your inner children are present in the relationship, the bond, connection, whatever you want to call it, at the present moment. And now they're both trying to defend themselves. They're both trying to not be taken advantage of. So they try to get one up on the person before they do it. And it's in the song, you know, I said being in high school, and this is my junior year of high school. So this is some spring. Yeah, it was springtime of 2002, and Music's album was coming out, and the first single was Half Crazy. The video was dope, you know, 106 in Park. Well, you know what I'm saying? It was all over that. And then to just understand the concept of, you know, what the song Half Crazy is talking about. Like, you know, we were tight at one point in time. We were really, really cool. And I've had many situations like that in my life where, you know, because I was the easygoing guy, the people pleaser. So, you know, a girl's best friend, you know, the friend zone type shit. You know what I mean? And then we somehow or another we crossed over into being more than friends. And then things stopped being funny. You joke too much, which I did. Definitely did, looking back. But like all that stuff that was funny when we were just cool, now it's like you starting to catch some sort of feelings for me, and now the shit that you used to laugh at is pissing you off about me. And you know, I was like, I could feel that. And I know that I've gone through many of times where I've you know, that song. One song for sure that I felt, and I was in a very, very challenging space in my life mentally, especially when it came to emotions for women and just love in general. I was projecting. But Queen's, and this is right around the time Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out, right? So the song on you know, they play it in the movie, and it's of course it's one of their hits from the 70s and shit. But it's called "Love of My Life," right? "Love of My Life," "Love of My Life." That, because of what was going on at the time, it hit me. It hit me a certain way, right? You know what I'm saying? This is not a pity party or anything like that. This is literally where my mind was, and the connection to the emotion in the song, you know, Freddie Mercury wrote, you know. So it's like, love of my life, don't leave me. Open my heart, and now you leave me type thing, you know what I'm saying? And it was, and that's where my head was, you know what I'm saying? Very much lovey-dovey, trying to find love, chase love, whatever you want, you know, to call it. Just was so caught up in this idea of a person, this idea of this woman, this idea of love for that matter. But I felt the music, I felt the song, and that's really what that is. You know, you felt that song. Donny Hathaway's Giving Up. Giving up will, like, if you are going through a breakup, if you're going through a relationship, you know what I'm saying, issue, whatever, and you know that this is not going to continue. Donny Hathaway's Giving Up will fuck you up, honestly. Just listening to the soul of this man, and then the saxophone that plays on the record. I mean, it's a lot, yo. It's a lot, man. So like in those lyrics, the Donny's has, it's giving up is hard to do when you really love someone. Giving up, you know, and that was, like I said, I was in, you talk about a hopeless romantic when it came to that shit. I was feeling every lyric, you know, like when I was going through, it was a rap, you know, it was like, it really was a rap. You just feel a lot of songs. Another song, Burn by Usher. Burn by Usher was definitely one where I felt that. Yeah, I definitely felt those lyrics for sure. And it was, because, you know what I'm saying, it was a challenging time. I just entered the Air Force too, so based on what I was doing with my love life at the time, yeah, it was tough. Another record that I felt, because of what was going on at the time, get ready to get out of the Air Force in 07. It was like October, November of 07, and this is my introduction to Amy Winehouse. and the song Just Friends was yeah, I must have played that on repeat I don't know how many times, right? And that was, like I said, that album alone is a non-skipper, right? It's non-skipper. If you've never listened to Amy Winehouse's Back to Black, I definitely recommend that one. If you're drinking while listening, it's gonna fuck you up. It'll definitely get you in your feels, you know what I'm saying? If your mind is there, like you got things going on. But Just Friends by Amy Winehouse was one that really, when I was in the desert, my men, they made this kind of like little collection of classic soul records and shit. And it's titled, I think it was titled Loveland, right? Yeah, it was entitled Loveland. And it was the first time I heard Zoom by the Commodores. And I just, listening to what he was talking about, again, based off what I was dealing with, and this is a 20-year-old, 20-year-old me is just listening to this song and the lyrics in it, like Zoom, I like to fly away, where my mind, was fresh and clear, and I found a love that I long to see. It's definitely, it's a sap story, but you feel it, you know what I'm saying? Like you really do feel the song itself, the music. And another one that would resonate with me due to breakups is I want to say Someday, Some Way, Somehow by Brian McKnight. That was a tough time. Those were the days when I was trying to turn women into my mother, like a perfect version of a parent, of a mother, unknowingly trying to heal or what have you. You know what I'm saying? It's how I was carrying myself. I wouldn't learn that until later, when you realize that you don't require no one. You don't require anyone to be whole. And that was the whole thing. I felt like I had to be whole. I was listening to all them fucking R&B records and from the 80s and the 90s talking about I'm incomplete without you, Breathe Again, and Unbreak My Heart and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm programmed by this shit. But Brian McKnight's Someday, Some Way, Somehow definitely was one that I spent a lot of time listening to and just reminiscing and trying to piece together what was going on, in that particular relationship that I was in, and but the song is dope, nevertheless, if you've never heard it. Someday, Some Way, Somehow by Brian McKnight. I definitely recommend that one. And definitely, much as he gets a rap for being so emo, a Drake record called Doing It Wrong with Stevie Wonder doing, he has like a harmonica solo at the end. But a line he said that was so potent to what was going on is, like I said, at the time I was in North Carolina. I had just moved to North Carolina, right? I think that, Take Care came out in 2011, I think. Yeah, came out in 2011. And he said, in the lyric, it's like, we live in a generation of not being in love and not being together, but we sure make it feel like we're together because we're scared to see each other with somebody else. And literally, that was the mindset, there's a lot of battles that were taking place inside the mind. While in my short stay there, I was doing a little bit of like dating and stuff like that, and I was so angry. I was just an angry person. I mean, I kept attracting personalities that I allowed to trigger. You know what I'm saying? They were something very familiar to me. So I did a lot of tantrums, grown man tantrums. I was 26, but grown man tantrums, and I would project that anger, that fear. Is really what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was projecting a fear of not being enough and onto these girls that I was seeing, and it really was it was eye-opening, I was pushing away. I did the best I could to push away anyone that tried to love me. I promise you, like self-sabotage at the highest level. But that's where, like I think about that record and I think about where my head was, man. Like there's so much fear. I had no business dating any of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm bleeding on people that didn't cut me. And I was, very emotionally immature. I was definitely emotionally unavailable, to the highest degree that I've ever been in my life. I can honestly say that. But lessons learned in that. And yeah, Janet's again. I've definitely felt that before. And it's like you had some good rapport with one person, and then obviously something happens, you drift away, and then you don't see each other for a couple of years, and a lot of those old memories come back, and you're holding on to the memory, not who this person is now, but the memory of like what was, that you're looking at all the joyous moments and trying to recreate that in your head. But there was a reason why you and that person did not didn't pair out, you know what I mean? And sure enough, I would learn that song was just a damn song. And because, again, we tried to communicate, me and this particular individual, but I saw like, yep, this is exactly why that shit wasn't going to happen. Like you got to see, and sometimes you need that shatter. You need somebody to shatter your illusion of a person so that you can accept what's there and decide if it's for you or if it's not. And but that song, Janet's again, it's that I remember it from, like Poetic Justice, the video, the music video for it. My man, that was Shaka Zulu from A Different World. He's the love interest in the video, and Janet looked good as a motherfucker. And I'm sure ladies would say, or whoever's interested in him would say the same thing about him with the dreads and the skin tone. And yeah, Janet was looking right in that thing before the abs came. I don't like 6-pack ab Janet. You know what I'm saying? I like little flat tummy, but not no washboard. I don't want washboard on a woman. To me, those are masculine features. But I digress. But anyway, yeah, like Janet's again was it's one of those ones that makes you think, like the piano alone. Like I'm a music head. So listening to that record, again, I don't get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? It's potent, and it sounds just like Let It Be a little bit by the Beatles. I heard Janet's again first because dating myself, and then I heard Let It Be, and I'm like, same damn melody. But Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, I'm sure they probably just borrowed a little bit from that. But a lot of those records that make you feel. And it's amazing to have that feeling. 25 to Life by Eminem. Pretty much just talking about doing away with the old version of him and this toxic version of him. And where I was trying to get away from the victim, being the victim, portraying myself as being a victim. And again, projecting that onto the people around me, and just going through a very much a challenging mental battle that was going on. I mean, where I was, I didn't know anything about mental health. I didn't know shit about trying to heal within. I was trying to get somebody else to fix me, and I was giving my power away. Essentially, is what I was doing. But I mean, you're young. You don't know any better. That's why it's important to have grace when you're around people that try to project, because they don't know any better. What else they're doing? They're asking for love. Essentially, is what it was. I mean, pension seeking, all of that, people pleasing. We're seeking love, or am I okay? We're looking for confirmation. I mean, it's just a way of getting love, and you don't feel like you're enough, so you try to seek outwardly instead of inwardly. But I mean, all those songs that I can go for days, honestly, talking about the songs that just where I felt something from, but those ones in particular, they stand out because they're obviously attached to a moment in my life where I was involved in something, you know, in relationships and, you know what I'm saying, and bonds and connections with various women. And it taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying? It taught me a lot, and it's amazing how you can just connect to these lyrics. These people don't know you, you know what I'm saying, but you're connecting to them and learning and being able to laugh at your ego and what you allowed yourself to get into, just looking back at those times and being able to laugh at yourself looking so, you know, so sad laying there. And the thing is that these are people that we probably thought we were going to spend the rest of our life with, and now we're like, we dodged a fucking bullet, you know. It's like, I'm so glad that didn't pan out, you know, because you get to see the trajectory of where their life would go, and it's like, that could have been me, you know what I mean? And so everything happens for a reason. God and the universe has a way of saving you from your damn self. You wouldn't move, so I moved your ass, and all you can do is be grateful and be thankful. But those are the songs that I felt the lyrics. Tap into the joy of your inner child. What do you like to do? Music videos, right? I used to spend hours in the summer watching music videos non-stop. Whether that was on VHS that I recorded, like we're trying to record 106 in Park over something that my dad had made for me, like Looney Tunes or Inspector Gadget. He recorded a whole bunch of episodes for me. And then I got too grown to watch cartoons, so I decided to record over that shit with new shit, with new music videos, stuff that I like. I was, you know, again, just trying to be validated, but I love music. I still do to this day. I don't necessarily say I like what's current in the sense of like the popular genres, like the sense of like hip hop or, you know, R&B, and even rock or anything like that. You know, I tend to listen to what I grew up on, and then I've added like classical and jazz because, you know, it's instrumental, so I don't really need to keep up with nothing. I can just listen to that and go on about my day. But watching music videos is something that really takes me back to childhood. You know, I was heavily influenced by my older cousin. It's like a brother to me, and he used to record music videos, and I was like, I want to be as cool as him, so I'm going to record these music videos. And that's what I did. I remember when what was the shit called? It was it's not Got It Video, because that was like a blockbuster back in P-Town. But there was this, I think it's Much Videos or something, muchvideos.com something, and it had a gang of like music videos. Some you had to like kind of buy or whatever, but others, they were free. So I didn't want to buy no fucking music video. So what I did was use a sound recorder for the computer that my mom had. And this is back in the day when you got them AOLs, you got them bling, 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 bling. So I would be in the middle of recording a fucking song off of a music video, and my mom gets on the damn phone and tells me, get off my damn phone. Oh, she didn't curse, but get off the phone. I remember that. I remember being so fucking pissed because it was a song that I really liked. Yeah, I had them all categorized, and that was how I listened to music, because that was life to me. You know what I'm saying? It was, I drifted away. It was my escape. That was, you know, I still escape from time to time. You know, I tend to listen to more instrumentals now, but like over the weekend, I really did. I think that Michael trailer, I watched the trailer for Michael and I got kind of inspired. So I just started listening to like Michael again. And that's my first celebrity. That's my first entertainer that I loved. So I was listening to Human Nature, you know, multiple times. Anybody knows me, Human Nature that's my song. That's the best damn song I've ever heard in my life. Human Nature by Michael Jackson. And so you know, I would listen to all these records. I was, you know, these music videos just to get these songs and then just play them as such, whether I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon with my little brother, because it was his game. And then I, you know, did some Big Brother shit, try to bold over it, you know what I mean, and played it myself. But I would play Roller Coaster Tycoon and listen to just different songs. And this is before Napster. Now, when Napster came, shit changed, and I could actually get better quality songs. It was stealing, but you know, all of us were a part of that shit, and they ended up getting the guy, you know what I'm saying, you know, for Napster because of it. But we were taking, yeah, we were getting as much as we could. My big thing for Napster was getting remixes. I used to love to get remixes. Like the first time I heard What It Is remixed by Busta Rhymes, and Neptunes produced it, I was like, oh, I want to get this joint. Or Holla Back by Fabulous. You know, this is, again, dating myself in high school. These were the joints that was popping at the moment. Pastor Cavassier remix, which is the one with the video. It's like Harlem Nights and shit. Don't this shit make my people want it? Like that. I wanted to take all of those records and just have them, you know what I'm saying? I just stay in my room and have a big ass party. And I didn't really have to go outside at that point. I was on punishment too much. So after a while, I just got used to not going outside. It's so funny, kid, you know, after a while, parents think putting your kid on punishment is not allowing them to go outside. After a while, he's gonna get used to not going outside. Now what? Now what you do? I'm gonna listen to music until you get home, and then it's silent night. That's all. That's all it's gonna be. It's silent fucking night. When I want to tap into that inner child, yes, it is music videos. I will watch music videos nonstop, especially ones from the past. And even songs that I learned to like that I never really watched the music videos for them. And then watch them now, and then looking back at the time, like looking at 80s shit, even sometimes in the 70s. The 70s music videos are always funny because they ashy as hell, you know, and it's just like the texture of the film is all ashy and shit, but it's still classic, you know. And like seeing old Soul Train performances of these people that pretty much were played loud in my house by my daddy, like to see them in their prime, in their youth, is it's a joy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it brings me back to that childhood to watch music videos sometimes. So, you know, I'll do that to kind of get back to that kind of feeling. But what else I like to do to tap into that inner child joyous feeling is I watch wrestling. And I have an entertainment schedule, and every Thursday I watch wrestling. Like before it was the documentaries, but I think I've watched so many of them. So now I've realized that YouTube also has old pay-per-views, and like watching old Royal Rumbles from like the late 80s and seeing my guy Hogan, you know, God rest his soul. But as far as like Hulk Hogan, you had to be there. You had to be there to know what it felt like as a little kid to hear that fucking song come on. And then that yellow and red comes out with either American flag or pointing fingers and doing all that hand motions and shit with to the ear. Ultimate Warrior, Big Boss Man, Macho Man Randy Savage, Tatanka, Razor Ramon, 1-2-3 Kid. Like these were I looked up to them, you know what I'm saying? I just thought they were the coolest thing ever. I used to have a whole bunch of wrestling men and like a ring. You know, my parents spoiled the shit out of me, and I had a very fortunate childhood when it comes to toys. I can say that. And I had a lot of the wrestling men, and I would play with them, and I would drift away. I would literally watch the same fucking movie or same Michael Jackson concert and just play with wrestling men. And that was my life, you know, as a kid, and in my room. You know, you heard a whole bunch of slamming the wrestling men onto the mat, but that was, you know, that was joy. That was joy to me. So watching wrestling, I somewhat still get I somewhat get that feeling. I also laugh because they really wanted us to believe this shit. Talking all, just the way that they talk. Now I'm adult, like looking at these people yelling at me and shit on the promos. It's like, this has to be the funniest shit ever. And one of the funniest things for me was watching, and if you get a second to watch it, you take time to do it. Mean Gene Okerlund outtakes. Learning that Mean Gene Okerlund was foul-mouthed as fuck was hilarious. But he was the voice of wrestling, as far as interviews go. Same with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, Tony Schiavone, and Paulie Dangerously, now known as Paul Heyman. Just like Jim Ross, of course. And Jim Ross before WWE or depending on how old you are. But like WCW, Jim Ross was everything. The way he used to say Steiner Line. And it was a joy. It was a joy being that little kid, having that wrestling buddy, little pillow thing. And I would use that. I would put a whole bunch of moves on that wrestling buddy on my bed. My mom would hear a whole bunch of banging in the room. It's just a little boy learning how to use his testosterone, I guess, watching wrestling. But wrestling brought joy. Music videos brought joy. Wrestling brought joy. And dare I say, basketball. Yeah, basketball. Basketball was something that used to bring me a lot of joy, that could take me back to childhood. I had fun. I played in the rec league, Churchland Rec League growing up. And now, the friends that I grew up with, they're coaching Churchland Rec League now. So it's full circle to see those days go by. But being in the neighborhood, you had to have a game or you wasn't getting picked up. And when I first came around, I was treated like Smalls on fucking the Sandlot because I had no game. Not enough that they had. But I was fortunate enough to get somewhat of a better game. And then I got to do AAU with a group of kids, man, and they were really good too. We all learned together how to play the game, and we had Coach Williams and I forget the white cat. I don't know if he's still living, but yeah, the white cat. He used to come pick me up, take me to like practices and stuff like that. All the way out and we were all the way out near, not Smithfield, Franklin. Yeah, we went all the way to Franklin, and to play basketball for AAU and some other places too. Just being young and playing ball in Suffolk, but I was able to get this skill from them, and then I started feeling myself a little bit, and I played a little bit better. But that used to be the joy, just being outside or going to somebody's neighborhood. Like, you go visit your cousin and you play basketball and you like to show out, or you go to your girlfriend's house. She got a little brother, and you go in the back and you play ball and you bust his ass in front of your girlfriend. You get like a little ego stroke. With that. But it was a lot of joy. It gave a lot of joy to play the game. And the day that I tore my ACL, I was 26, LA Fitness in Miami. I knew, in Kendall, that is, I knew that was it. And I had a hard time accepting the fact that I was ever going to play basketball the same way again. And I know I was depressed for a little while about it because I wasn't able to turn as much. I couldn't rebound as high, what have you. But it goes by in a flash. Like literally, I was 26. That was what, 14? I think. Yeah, was that 14 years? Yeah, 14 years ago. And it was tough. It was tough to accept, but it's part of life, and that's why you have to love the present moment. I'm closed out with that about, just enjoying those moments that we had as kids, whether you're a little boy, a little girl, whatever you had. Remembering what brought you joy as a kid can prevent you from falling into those depressive mindsets, you know what I mean? But between watching music videos, watching wrestling, and playing basketball, those are the things that bring joy to my inner child. What's your favorite memory of being at the bus stop and the bus was late? Okay, so apparently we weren't getting picked up that day, at least not yet. So what we did, we decided that, and I thought that, you always thought that somebody else's bus stop was cooler than yours. So I used to, I used to walk down to my best friend, T-Dot, you know. I used to walk down to her bus stop, which is literally right in front of her house. Her house was there. Vita Norton was at the corner, and we would walk down there. You know, me and Dink would walk from where our bus stop was, go down there and meet T-Dot and everybody that was at their bus stop. So we just all start walking. It just looks like, I don't know, Stranger Things type thing, just walking around. And somebody had a Black and Mild, right? And this is the first time I had ever seen a Black and Mild. But we walked between where Kurt and Kayla, there was like this little access road that led to the woods, right? Nothing freaky going on, but we just went back there in an open area. It wasn't, you know, obviously near trees, smoking and shit, and it could catch fire. But somebody had the Black and Mild. We sat there, we passed it around, and then we just started walking to just everybody's bus stops. And this went on for about an hour. And then eventually the bus comes and picks us up. But I just remember that moment because it just felt like we were on some kind of, literally just on some kind of adventure. And we just thought we were so much cooler because we were walking around. But that is one of my favorite memories of being at the bus stop when the bus was late. About women who set the date. All right. I am not a fan of a woman like dominantly setting the date. Not at all. My mentality is trust me to set the date. Let me court. Let me show you a great time, motherfucker. Let me show you a great time. Not a good time. Let me show you a great time on this fucking adventure we about to go on, goddammit. But in all seriousness, it's not about being against a woman setting the date. It's all about how the date is set. I actually had this conversation with one of my brothers. This is what me and Ro was talking, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and I was just talking about, you know, like leading and all this stuff, you know, as far as like when it comes to dating. And so he gave me a scenario. It was like, what about, you know, if my wife is out, you know, he's married. What about if my wife is out like at Papado's in Atlanta? Shout out to everybody in Georgia. That's a great restaurant to go to if you ever get a chance to visit Atlanta, Papado's. But say my wife is out with some friends of ours in Atlanta and she asked me to come and meet them. Is that setting the date? And I was like, technically no. You know what I mean? Like, if you can make it, great. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing of like saying, you know, listen, we going to what's the name house, be ready type thing. I look at that as like, no, I'm going to lead. I'm going to lead in that manner is what I'm saying. But I prefer to be the one to actually do the research. I remember being in relationships and then I come home from like work and then my then girlfriend, you know, who I lived with, you know, at the time, and it's like, hey, we got dinner with this thing. So the date is now set. She has done the setting. And I was too naive. I was too young. I wasn't aware about a man leading. And so I had to, you know, I went along with it. It was no issue. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I was being taken care of. I was being a son. You know, who knew, right? But I was operating in a sense of like, I wasn't leading, in my opinion, looking back at that. In that scenario, I was not leading. And eventually I would get treated like such for not leading. You know, there's a sense of resentment that comes in. So I take it upon myself to really do research, right? And that's the research comes in the conversation. That's what you're having conversations for. You're not just shooting the shit. You're learning. You're learning how to love this individual. You're learning what this person has an interest for, and what gives you ideas so that you can create something to where we can have an event, come together. We can have this adventure. We can go on this date. We can make a moment. All the different terms that just describe us going out together. That's it's all about how you dress it up, right? But I mean, I prefer to be the one to set the date. Now, like he also asked me about like a special, like let's say special occasion, like it's your birthday, she want to do something for you. Yeah. I don't have any issues with that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a situation where it's like, yeah, birthday's coming up, something, like some kind of standout signature occasion is coming out, and you, like, let's say because I'm constantly being the one to take her out, she wants to then, show her appreciation for me and do the same. I am totally for that. That doesn't make me feel less of a man for having it. But now if she's doing it all the time, eventually she's gonna get tired of that shit. She's gonna get resentful. She ain't gonna want to spend all the fucking money on me. No. And for me, I think it's more of me to be able to provide, if you will. That's just my mentality for such. Now, I like to say that I do pretty well about, trying to accommodate when I do set a date with her, that it's something that she would have an interest for as well. And even when it's something that I want to do, something I'm asking, I'm having her join me and taking part in said thing that is of interest to me. But nothing like that's too polar opposite, you know what I'm saying? And that's just my thing, you know what I mean? But being able to just be in that moment with that person is really what it's all about, right? But I think there's a certain protocol, you know what I mean, where a man is to set the date. That's just my mentality. I have nothing against, I'm not judging anybody that has the opposite, to where their woman sets a date and they just make sure that they're ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? That's all well and good for you. I'm talking about a preference here. I'm not talking about right or wrong. I'm talking about a fucking preference that I prefer to be the one to like set date. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. And I'm also saying that I'm open to a woman, again, occasionally doing so. Setting up like a date or something like that. If like, again, a special occasion, if it's and much as I don't use that, I loathe the word special, but it doesn't happen quite often, and it's like a birthday or something like that, and they want to create said thing for me, I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against that. It's not going to, like I said, it's not going to make me feel any less of a man because you decided to shut the city down for me to show your appreciation of what I've been investing. And hopefully you come across people that you do, engage with, they do value you, you know what I mean? And somebody that values you wants to shower you with what they can give you, as far as what would be their version of love, given in a gift form, you know what I'm saying? And that's there's an appreciation that comes with that. So I do, like I said, I do my damnness to be appreciative of such. Now, old me would be like total black and white. Nope. I'm not accepting anything. Nope. I don't want it. You know what I mean? And that was a trauma response I would learn. But now it's learning to appreciate those who want to give to you. Even with friends, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I wouldn't accept anything like, yo, hey John, we're going to get McDonald's. You want something? Nope, I'm good. Because when you grow up being reminded of what people have done for you, you don't want shit. You don't want nobody to give you shit. I don't want you to say that, try to throw something in, my face or whatever. Again, a trauma response. But as you get older, as you learn to trust people, you're able to be a little bit more open. And that's what I learned. I learned how to be a little bit more open when it comes to that. I'm by all means, I'm still a work in progress on a lot of things for sure. But I would like to say that I've definitely been a lot more receptive than I have been in, I would say, the first part of my life. And it's just all about unlearning all the shit that you learned in the beginning of your life. The rest of your life is all about unlearning the shit that you learned in the beginning of your life. So I try to learn, I try to learn from it. But as far as how I feel about a woman setting the date, it's all about how the date is set, the scenario and all that. But just like me sitting around not doing nothing, a woman can voice that she wants to see me or something like that. But as far as like every other day, she the one creating all the adventures. And I've had conversations with family members or female family members, female friends, and like when it comes to birthdays or whatever, they're the ones doing all the fucking planning. And so I listened, you know what I mean? As well as in the manosphere and what is being, taught to us about setting the date, being able to create the adventure. You want to have this woman join you, you know what I mean? That type of thing. And being able to show that you can lead. And I pride myself on that. If I'm being honest, I really do. And of course, when you're learning it in the beginning, you might be a little overboard, but again, you got to level out. You got to learn to level out and be able to laugh at yourself for when you did do so. Overall, I have no qualms about a woman in those limited scenarios where she wants to show appreciation to me and wants to take me this place, knowing that it's something that I love, speaking. That comes from her listening to when you talk. So that's another thing of recognizing when a woman really values you. She's listening to the things that bring you joy and be like, all right, well, I want to go, I'd like to take you here type thing. You know what I mean? And that's that appreciation that we're talking about. But nevertheless, overall, I'm not for a woman setting the date all the time. And like I said, in limited scenarios, I have no issues with a woman trying to create a moment with me. So with that being said, it's the end of this episode. I have fun with this one. This is more of a fun episode than, I would say more. Still kicking a little bit of that mental health shit, because mental health is in every fucking thing. But I like to think that, we all had some fun with this. You guys watching, listening, whatever it is, and then me being able to just ramble off the first thing that came to mind when the topic comes up. So that's it. We're done. I'm Romy Mac, and I'm out. Good night, kids.